sun's coming in.
It is.
Doesn't that look weird behind us, though? Good morning. How are
Good
you?
morning.
Sorry we're late. We're like 2 minutes late. Our clock, our little analog clock is off. That's the downside of not having electronics. It's you have to rely on your own memory to wind it up, twist it up, make it on time, or change the battery. Let's see if we can get closer to Timmy. Good morning. And y'all, I truly haven't had a sip of coffee yet, so my mind is not caught up with my mouth.
Yeah, mine's too hot.
Just because you drink that girly coffee with ice cubes. You want me to get you an ice cube? Oh, you're seeing the steam coming off of it? I've got it here too, but I think that's also because it's like 30 degrees in the house. Good morning. Anyhow, if you're just joining us for the very first time, hello, thank you. I apologize in advance. Choo-choo-choo. There. We had someone and then we lost them. It's probably from my jibber jabber. This tab is using your camera. Okay, well, that's fine. I want it to. So, if you're just joining us for the very first time, we are two of the five Bradshaw family members that moved away from the city, left everything behind, and moved off grid in the mountains of East Tennessee. Look, you can see all my dirty dishes in the background.
Yay.
So, good morning. We started this blog, whatever you want to call it. We started having coffee with y'all a little over 4 years ago because I was lonely and I wanted to connect with my friends and family that we left behind. And so I'm like, I know, I'll go live and we'll chit chat and we'll still have coffee together because that used to be a big thing back home. I don't even think I said who I was. Go ahead and do the introduction.
Anyway, this is Amber. I'm Tim, and we're two of the five that moved from
South Carolina,
the East Coast.
the beach,
Yeah,
off grids here in the mountains of East Tennessee.
yeah.
And I wish I could share this view with y'all. I tried to do it before and the camera doesn't pick up that far. But it is absolutely stunning this morning. The moon. One
The
moment.
moon's covered with snow,
The sun hasn't made it over the ridge of the mountains yet. And it's beautiful.
and the mountain's covered with
The
snow.
mountains are covered with snow. Speaking of snow, that's one thing that we wanted to talk about because it's been crazy. I went into y'all, I'm not on my phone all day long. Like I check messages, personal messages or business, but I don't do any scrolling. I don't do any of that kind of stuff until I can't sleep, which is quite often. So I was in one of the local groups, and I guess because we didn't know, we haven't left the house. Everybody's been without power through this last snowstorm.
I did not know that.
And we haven't even left our mountaintop. We don't even know if the cabin down below had power. And thankfully, for those of you that don't know, so we live off grid. I think I mentioned that earlier. And our land, we got about almost 47 acres. And we have now three separate homesteads on our property. We have our homestead here, and this is almost mountaintop. This is almost at the peak of our property, almost. Then above us, a tenth of a mile above us, Timmy and our son Gavin built his new home that he and his bride, newlyweds, just moved into November 4th. And then that's one tenth of a mile above us. So they even have a higher elevation and a better view. I'm jealous of their view. And then my mother, a week after the wedding, and she's in her 70s, just moved into the small, tiny, semi off grid cabin that we have down in the holler, which is 3 or 6, I can't remember. I'll have to look at the map. 100 feet in elevation and one half a mile below us. And that's in the holler. And we also have several different microclimates and zones around here because it's always colder in the holler than it is up here. What I was getting ready to say with all that is thankfully she's in South Carolina during the snowstorm. Hey, Steve, good morning. Sherry, good morning. Hey, Jock, how y'all doing? Glad you guys could join us. Steve, I've been wanting to talk to you. Now I can't for the life of me remember what, but it'll come back to me and I'll have to message you. I think it was about your bees, but we'll discuss that later. Say hi to everybody.
Well, hello, everybody. Jock, Sherry.
Sherry, I hope you guys
Thanks,
are staying warm.
thanks for the update on the storm coming through, because
Sherry,
I was pretty
Timmy
much
loved
clueless.
that. And because Sherry's really plugged into the local news and was able to share everything with me via Messenger because I don't stay online, and I couldn't figure out even where to look for the local stuff. So that was really good because she's lived here her pretty much her whole life, I think all her life, and is a lot more aware of what happens during these storms than a couple of city folks from the beach with their flip flops still on. Seriously, I'm still wearing my flip flops during the wintertime.
Yeah, we don't have Ed Piotrowski here.
No, I miss Ed. He's our little local news guy back from Myrtle Beach. But anyhow, so let's talk about the winter because that first winter that caught us with our guard down, and it was very cold. But we lived in the cabin, which had some city electric. I keep saying minimal electricity, and Marty Rainey from Homestead Rescue comes by. You got all the electricity you need. But we have.
He tries to make it sound good when it's bad, and
Yeah.
tries to make it sound bad when it's
Well, he's some tough
good.
guy, so he makes it makes you feel a little like tiny. But anyhow, so that first winter was tough. None of us had winter clothes. I moved from Michigan to South Carolina, but I was there for 25 years. And during that time, I got rid of everything. I didn't even own a pair of socks. And our good friend, Liberal Linda from California, she mailed us some warm clothes. And then another friend mailed us some warm clothes. And then our friends Sherry and Josh, they got us boots and gloves because we didn't have nothing.
Yeah, they got us all kind of goodies.
Yeah, and well, with soup and firewood, and
Man,
that was the second year. That was the first year we were up here.
yeah.
And where we thought we always had enough firewood. Every year we think we have enough firewood. Every year it's not enough firewood. So that is something. And each storm, we're learning more. Like the last storm that hit, we knew. So like, okay, we got enough firewood, we got enough water, we got enough. We always got enough food. We got enough food. We got our medicine. We know we will be trapped at home for a while, and we didn't have enough water, nowhere near enough water, because our water reserves froze and we couldn't get them out.
Yeah,
The last storm.
I know.
Where are you at, buddy?
She was looking at me like it was your fault. I mean,
Did you guys hear me say
that's
that?
what
Did
I
you
was
hear me
getting
say
out
that?
of.
I didn't say anything like
I
that.
know.
He's always putting words in my mouth. I got
Uh,
enough words in my mouth.
It was my fault. I didn't get enough water. It was still my fault.
But it was over Christmas and the holidays, and our house was full of people. And then Gavin and Ashton's water froze inside their house. So that was, I mean, that was our main thing. That was our main concern. And then it became nice, but even our water pipes and our well down in the holler busted.
Yeah.
What's so funny?
No, when you water, it's a reality check when you water and everything in your house freezes.
Inside your house. They even had their toothpaste frozen, and
Yeah.
her contacts were frozen solid. And God bless her. I think I
don't
talked
know
about
why
it
I'm
last
laughing,
week.
but
No, Ashlyn, if you're watching, honey, because I know you watch live, we love you, and we're not laughing at you. We're laughing with you now. She's doing much better though. Yesterday, we haven't seen her in a couple days, and she's off. Dollywood is closed, where she works. I had a dream about that. Hang on. Deja. I could. I was up all night long dreaming. Um, if that makes sense. But anyhow, so she's closed. She's off work for a month during the coldest month of the year, and I'm like, honey, are you okay? Are you warm? She was. I did it. She was. It was touch and go for a minute, but I got two fires going. So yay,
yeah.
they did good. But water was a biggie. That my heart was going out because all of these people who live here, not saying they're from here, but live here, were freaking out because they didn't have any power, so they didn't have a heat source. And that's a big problem with all these power outages during the storms. The last one, my mother was here. I told her we would lose power down there. We don't lose power up here. We're off grid, um, thankfully, because we don't even know that the people are without power. That when, like, we didn't know that, was it last year or the year before? It was the year before last when we were stuck here for 8 days because the power lines trapped us across our driveway.
Yeah.
And
I
we didn't
remember
even know
how-
the kids were without
I
power.
remember having a conversation with a guy from Sevierville Electric, and he said the power will go out a lot here in the winter.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
I mean, and he did warn us because they're all the wires are spliced together because they patched them so much over the years. It doesn't take a lot for the power to go out. I'm going to move the coffee.
well, yeah, and all the power lines they run. You've got so many trees around them. I mean, that's why the last time they're still working on the lines now, trying to cut them back. I guess a little bit more. They cut ours back pretty good.
Well, now let's not confuse people because we just said we're off grid. What do you mean cut our power lines back?
We still have power lines that run through our property.
Down in the
below.
holler, where my mom's cabin is.
Yeah.
Now I got too much sun.
So, and that goes up the mountain.
Scooch over
To
to
the
your left
people.
thumb. I don't want that. No, your left, honey, not your right. Left hand? Right hand. Okay, scooch up. Oh, that made it worse. Good gracious. No, I know. So I'm just going to have to scooch on the other side of you. So, what are some of the things that we do to prepare for these cold storms?
Pray.
What else?
Well, I mean.
Gather water.
Yeah, water and firewood are probably our two main, and hay for the livestock. I mean, it's.
Well, water even if people with cities because their pipes are going to freeze. Is that better? Not much, huh?
I got a little more
Look at me.
tan here.
There we go. I'll just be glowing this morning. So y'all chime in because, especially Sherry, Steve, you guys are probably laughing, Steve especially, because he's way up north in Michigan. They have cold weather. And Sherry's been around here her whole life, so she's more experienced than we are. But for us, for those, I guess it applies to people on grid or off grid, because if you lose power during these storms like we've had just recently, you're now off grid because your power is disconnected. But water, definitely storing enough water for you and your family in an area that it won't freeze. I'm so uncomfortable. We really need to figure out this video thing. Enough food, your medicines, the things that you can't live without. And I strongly suggest, for instance, if you have to have like a CPAP machine, have battery backup, Our 10,000 acre deep lake froze over yesterday. Really? Does that mean you can't? Is that your water source, Steve, or is that your secondary water source? I'm curious because I'm not quite sure. Does it not freeze? I thought you shared pictures of people ice fishing and stuff. It has been really cold here for short spouts, like 20 below, and then it gets beautiful, and then it was like 60-something degrees. Okay, can you move that left leg? This left leg.
I'm just causing all kind of problems.
No, it's me. I just can't get comfortable.
Steve, you just get your pole and drill a hole, and you can go fishing, right?
You've never been. Oh, Steve said, what do you say? Oh, now we can fish. She's all excited. That would be nice, having a fresh source of fish like that during the winter time. But having enough water is definitely paramount. And don't forget about the water that you need for, cooking, not just drinking, but cooking. Washing dishes. Now, I will say this. If you have a snowstorm and you've got snow, it takes 5 gallons of snow to make 1 gallon of water. Ask me how I know. We had to do that for almost a whole week, and then we ran out of snow, and we were still trapped here, so that was problematic.
I noticed it has a smunny smell to it.
A smunny smell. We'll filter it because snow is highly polluted, especially if the air's polluted.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't think about it like that, because Linda goes, well, you know that joke, don't eat yellow snow. Well, yeah, that's true, but you really shouldn't eat any snow because it could be really contaminated. To boil it, filter it. We boiled it to, get it to melt down from 5 gallons of snow to 1 gallon of water, and then we filtered it. What other little tidbits do you have? What about people that don't have fireplaces? Oh, here's one from a friend of mine that served over in Afghanistan. My friend Carla, she said they issued them all a tent, a little pup tent to be in because if you can confine the area that you're in, the space, your body heat will help heat up small spaces. And so if you don't have a fireplace and you lose power, get a little pup tent, one of those little two-person pup tents for however many you need. And because Lyndon has one, she puts up in the house all the time. They don't take up a lot of space. And she said a little tea light candle, with a terracotta pot. And make sure you don't zip everything up. You want good oxygen coming back and forth, and don't ever leave a candle in a tent. I shouldn't have to do these disclaimers. Y'all are intelligent, right? Um, he didn't mean that, y'all. He didn't mean that. That little funny look, he didn't mean. Uh,
Sorry about that.
yeah, no, not y'all. You
No,
guys
no,
are
y'all.
friends. Just random
No.
people on YouTube.
No.
Anyhow, your body heat will keep you warm in a pup tent inside, and dress in layers. Cotton is not good. People say cotton is good. Cotton is not good. It absorbs moisture and holds moisture, and then it'll keep you wet. You want synthetic fibers, so you want to dress in layers. Body heat is good, and closing off excess rooms to your house. So, for instance, my mom in the cabin, even though she had propane heat, we had to close off. We had to close off the bathroom because it was too cold. It was too hard for the heater to keep up the main living space of the house, and we had to close off the entire upstairs with plastic. Because tell them why we had to do plastic.
Well, the floor has boards down, and there's space in between the boards, and the heat just goes right up. It's nice and warm upstairs.
And toasty upstairs.
Uh,
Because hot air rises.
yeah.
But we had to close it off. So Timmy and a friend of ours, and I think even our son might have helped, and they put heavy duty plastic down on the floor upstairs, which is the ceiling downstairs, to block any hot air from going upstairs, and even the staircase we blocked off.
And it worked.
And it did work. And it made it like at least 10-degree difference. So those are tips that you're going to want to do. Lock off any room.
Here's another tip.
What?
If you have a 30,000 BTU propane heater,
Oh, yeah.
and you use a 100-pound tank on it, it'll last for about 5 days on low. They love propane, but it puts off a lot of heat. So.
No, not on low. She had it on high.
We don't know what she had it on, but
because it's been on low and it's
yeah.
lasted longer than 5 days. But if you do the math with that, I don't know how much propane is in your area, but that's about $400 a month just in propane for that one heater. So that's been interesting.
And 500 square feet.
Less than 500 square feet
Less
because we
than
closed
500.
off the upstairs.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you definitely need lots of layers. You need to bundle up. You don't need to be caught without, warm clothes and layers and ways to keep warm outside of electricity. And water. I just water was my biggie. I'm going to get hung up on that for a while. I was spitting mad because we couldn't take baths. We couldn't, it was only a couple of days, so I'm very thankful about that. But I thought we had enough. I'm like, okay, we're ready this time. We've got enough water. Timmy said we got enough water. We got all of these big rain barrels filled. They all froze, and there was no way for us to get them unthawed.
Well, the one thing about the rain barrels is you can break the ice on the top, and you can still dip out of them. So
I tried to break the ice on the one out here.
Well,
I used the grill brush. I was like,
you got to have a hammer. You got to have a hammer.
The grill one. That's how I'll just use your head. It's harder.
Ain't that the truth?
So now, okay, so this is what? We haven't been here 5 years. It won't be 5 years. We won't be, it's almost 4 years that we've been up here in our house, but we haven't been in Tennessee 5 years till April. And now that we've done a couple winters under our belt, and this one isn't over, it's not over by a long stretch. Do you feel that we're Wool is excellent for clothing. Even retains heat if wet. Yes, Sherry. Wool is really good. Do you remember when I made my friend Ginger that wool scarf? And she was so grateful for it. And she was like, Amber, it was a cowl. It was a cowl. It's like a neck scarf. Um, and she said, Amber, she goes, thank you, honey. I appreciate all that you put into this, but I'm highly allergic to wool and I can't touch it. And I'm like, who's allergic to wool? But yeah, so I mean, wool is great if you're not allergic to it. But
Well,
it
I
just
mean,
made me think about
that's why
that.
they don't make wool underwear.
I got nothing. I'm sorry, I've got nothing. Ah, I was gonna say something else, and now I completely forgot. I don't know if it was about the water or the heat or the electric or what. Hi, Pia. How are you, sweetheart? It's so nice to see you again this morning. But oh, that's where we were.
Where's she
Pia,
at? I don't
she's
see
a
her.
smiley face. Huh, she's homestead. Um, South Carolina got cold this last couple times. I mean, they were in single digits and low digits, things that they're not used to.
Really?
Yeah, you know that because even your friend Raider, Ronnie Raider, messaged and said how cold it was.
When I was in high school, we started setting a trend of wearing flip flops and baggies to school in the wintertime. And before you knew it, everybody was still in it.
We're not saying you're the
It would
brightest
be
bunch.
freezing too, man. It's like, no, I'm fine. I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
That's not true, y'all. It's all the Yankees that move down south that are good during the winter because they're still out there on the beach in their shorts, and all the locals are freezing to death because they ain't
Oh
used to
yeah,
it.
we were
So I
idiots.
will say this though, that first winter, like I said, was really hard. That second winter was even harder, and that's where our friends came to rescue us. And however, I do feel that our bodies have acclimated a little bit because my mom will be here and our other friend Carla will be here and we'll be in a t-shirt. I'll get my shorts on. I won't have shoes or socks on, and they're all freezing. And they were over. We celebrated our Christmas January 5th, and it was like 58 degrees, and we were warm, and they were freezing. They're like, "Can you start a fire?" And I'm like, no, we can't start a fire. It's hot. I was roasting, and they were all freezing. So I think we've acclimated. You're still got a bony butt though. We need to put some meat on you.
I can take the cold a little bit better than I used to here. Um, Once you know how cold it gets, you kind of
Well,
when
I
it
will say you're the only one with proper winter gear now.
yeah. I mean, but
You've got really warm boots and gloves, and
when it's cold, and then it warms up to uh, just say 50 degrees, you're like, ooh man, this is nice. So I'm good with it. I mean, you know, I was born at the beach, man. I'm surfed and I've been around warm waters, and the winters were quick where I came from, so it's all it's
what
all
was?
good here now.
Sorry, I had to get something. I think one of the important things to the proper winter gear, like I said, that first year, all I had was flip flops. I think I had some slide on shoes. No, Puddin'. Um, but and then each year we get a little bit more. So Timmy has a nice thick Carhartt jumpsuit. He's got these nice winter boots a friend gave us, and they have a wool liner inside that you can take out and rubber outside.
Yeah.
And then I bought him a toboggan for Christmas. He had one, lost it, and then found it. But I bought him, show him the toboggan I bought you for Christmas.
So Christmas morning, I opened this up and I'm like, great.
I got a toboggan.
And I put it on and it's like, thank you, honey.
You've got such a
So
lot.
I'm like, sure, I'll wear it.
Wait, let me see it again. And I can't take it back because nobody has their winter stuff right now, you know?
Yeah.
But it's so cute. See, there you go. But wait, if I could just hold it off.
Yeah, maybe we could stuff a sock or something in the top of it.
It still has a tag on it, so maybe
If I had a little more on the top, maybe
or
I
on the
might hold
side.
it up.
But yeah, so each year we hope we learn a little bit more. This is my mom's first year here, so it's been tough on her. Really, really tough. And so we have to be mindful of that. Not everybody has been here, for winters like we have. So they just haven't acclimated. Um, I mean, it's not easy. You've got that's one thing you can't leave. So, for instance, not because you would want to leave in the cold. There's times you can't leave at all because you're blocked in or snowed in, and our roads are really, really bad. So you have to prepare for that. The workers pretty much know around here. One of the other things that's really weird around here is it's very localized. Last year when we had the coffee shop, we'd be snowed in, and there wouldn't be one snowflake. Well, there wouldn't be one snowflake in Morristown. I'm sure there's a lot. I'm sorry. No. Okay, so there wouldn't be one drop of snow on the ground where the coffee shop was. And I'd be sending them pictures of like 6 inches of snow on my car, and I couldn't get down the mountain.
Oh, we're good here.
Yeah, and he'd send a picture of a dry road. So it's very localized. So you definitely need, if you're calling into work, you need picture proof to call into work. But they're used to it. I mean, they're like, yeah, I live over, in Rocky Flats, or I live over there on English Mountain, and I can't get to work. And they're like, oh, okay, they're understandable. But you have to be prepared to not leave your residence for several days during the winter time. Not that you would want to risk it anyways. But Gavin had to. He had to drive in that snow yesterday, and I was so worried about him. Did he have a hard time getting up the mountain?
I don't know.
Because he works at the recycling center in Sevier County, and he's been really sick. So y'all keep him in your prayers because he's been on antibiotics and steroids. The doctor said he has bronchitis. There's always that concern it can turn into pneumonia.
And that's a slow healing process.
It's very slow. Recover very quickly from stuff like that.
No.
The other thing, though, is with living this way and without electricity, if you do have a fireplace, is you can't leave. Like, you can't leave because your house will get cold and then it won't recover. So that's something that we have to plan on. I mean, if it's real cold, even if the roads are clear, we're like, we can't go anywhere. We can't leave the house.
Yeah, it's tough coming home to a cold house. It is. I wish we had a big fireplace.
No, you don't, because you'd have to get lots of big firewood.
Yeah,
Although our friends, Aaron and them, they have that, what do they call the boiler system?
I like what.
Where they just put a big old log in it, and that's all day long.
I like what Sherry and Jock has. They've got
That's what they have that too. Yeah.
You load it up. It's got the blower on it. It's nice.
Well, then you can get the coal too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we can't leave because our house would be way too cold when we came home.
I know their house is really warm right now.
I know it is. I bet you it is. Well, and that's what I was telling Gavin and Ashlyn. I said, honey, you've got to set your alarm during those cold nights. Timmy gets up all night long. And now there was sometimes, not often, that I take a turn doing it so he can sleep. But about every hour and a half, 2 hours. That's how you need makeup. We would get up and add wood to the fire so we wouldn't freeze. That's just one of those things that you've got to do. But for those that don't have electricity, that's a whole different conversation, and no wood heat. One, I would try to get wood heat. But two, that you would be in that survival mode inside the tent or bundled up, small room together with lots of blankets.
Yeah.
Because like I said, that's what's hard with Mom. With her being alone, she's got the dogs, but none of them have any hair. They're all short-haired dogs. So she's trying to keep them warm, too. And they're all like, especially that little chihuahua. She's got them like all these little sweaters on them and everything.
I remember Amber and I, when we used to have baseboard heaters.
Oh, in South Carolina.
And we would run those things. And we would wake up, and I remember Amber going, Timmy, it's 50 degrees in the house. And I'm like, yeah. But then we got central heat, and it was, it was a lot different.
And we got the fireplace insert instead of just that decorative fireplace.
Yeah, and when we got that Buck fireplace insert with the blower on it.
The cast iron one.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness.
Before that, we just had a decorative fireplace.
I've never known a heat like that. It was like summertime in the winter.
Oh, it's one other thing, though. Seal your windows with plastic because even good windows, the air comes in it. So you want to seal those with plastic. Even if you just have trash bags that you want to put over it with some duct tape, you will see how much cold air still comes through those. Seal around your doors with extra blankets so the draft. That's what we did. We got some bath towels and put it around our bottom of our door so the draft didn't come in. And I'm just trying to give helpful information. To keep. What's so funny? What's so funny?
Trash bags with the duct tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Not for like meth houses,
Well,
Jimmy.
I guess it depends on where you live, whether you used nice roll of plastic or
Honey, when people have an emergency situation and a power outage
just
or
get a glad,
freeze,
glad bag and some duct tape.
it works. It works.
Keep away from the aluminum foil. That's a giveaway right there.
You're horrible. You do bubble wrap, whatever you got that works. Hey, it's a matter of staying warm or staying cold because it doesn't look good.
And that bubble wrap sounds good.
Shut up. Bless.
Oh boy.
You're a hot mess. But anyhow, that's
you use
it.
what you got, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, for our livestock though too. So Timmy said the extra hay. We've got these chickens that are just stupid, y'all. If you see my Instagram post, I shared a picture the other day. We got teens. Okay, let's go into the whole story real quick before we let y'all go because I know you got things to do on this Sunday. We have this girl, Black Mama. She's a wonderful broody hen. She hatches out all the time, and she's got her boyfriend. Killer's dead. Her main squeeze. He died.
She killed him.
No, I think a hawk got him. But anyhow, so she's the only one that hatches out babies, but she does it quite well. And she knows when she hatches out her babies, wherever it is, we don't see her for like a month. Don't even know she's gone. Next thing you know, here comes Black Mama and all these little babies. Well, we bring them up here. She knows to bring them up here by the house. And we get her the large dog crate and the fence area so nobody can bother those babies and nothing happens to them because the dogs will eat them. The other chickens will get them. Just life happens. And so they stay in that area with her, and she's wonderful at teaching them how to forage. She's the best mama. And then when they get old enough, and they are old enough to jump out that little fence area, because it's about knee high, she'll bring them down to the coop. Well, for whatever reason, these teens did not want to go down there, and they stay up here, and they poop all over everything. They poop on our porch. And Timmy I can't stand it either. Nobody likes to wake up to that. But they won't leave. They won't go into their coop. So we've captured them. Timmy's captured them, brought them down to the coop, left them down in there for a couple of days, let them out, come right back up. The winter storm that we just had, where it was 20 below, captured them, put them in the dog crate, put them in the bathhouse. Because we knew they were too stupid to stay down in the coop and nice and warm. So they're on our handrail and they won't leave. Snow, sleet, rain, their wattles and their combs have all frozen. They got frostbite. The pieces have fallen off. They're dumb. We can't figure it out. They won't go where it's warm. What? You just grinning from ear to ear.
Oh, yeah. I thought about taking the handrail down. I'm like,
they'll find something to do.
Yeah,
they'll stay up here because they consider this their home, no matter how much we try to retrain them somewhere else.
Don't leave the door open. They'll be in the house.
They will. They've come in the house because I left the door open too long to get something from outside. But as far as the livestock goes, now's the time to give them the extra hay and scratch because it takes longer for their bodies to break down the scratch, so they create more body heat. And that's just, you can also use coconut oil or, some type of mineral oil to put on your chicken's combs to help prevent frostbite. And I haven't done that, but you can. That is one of those tips that you can do. But yeah, you need to make sure that your animals have a safe place to stay out of the storm. I swear when we had the wind the other day, I looked out and there was a chicken like Dorothy in the Wizard of Oz.
Chicken flying
flew across my window. She wasn't flying, the wind caught her. It's like, phew.
Yeah.
So it wasn't funny. It was funny, but it wasn't funny. I mean, she was okay, but yeah, they wind caught him just right, just blew him through the air like a tornado.
Yeah, it was blowing pretty hard. You can hear the wind it
Get me in the mouth.
through. You can hear it back in the
Not your
woods.
hat, the mouth.
Uh,
There you go. You look like a Russian. Okay, but anyway, that's if you guys have other tips about staying warm during the winter or helping people during the power outages, all joking aside, please drop that in the comments because one, we're constantly learning. I mean, we're learning new things every single storm that we have, every time we get trapped at home, and we're learning new ways to stay warm and just really surviving during this time. And I know a lot of others are too. So hopefully, we'll have some helpful hints we can share with others to circumvent their struggles and panic during this time of all the winter storms that we're still going to get because y'all, it's just January, so we still got a ways to go. But we got to get going. We got to add wood to the fire to take care of our critters. So y'all have a blessed Sunday.
Thanks for watching.
And thanks for putting up with him.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Bye, y'all. And